What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's another episode of the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Ted, aka Steady. Join me as always, the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can't wait to go ahead and get into this review of Ant-Man Quantumania.
And joining us on this special review, Retro Ray. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys? Looking forward to this
So,
review.
yes, sir, we all are.
Absolutely. We just walked out of the theater. It was an early advanced showing of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and let me tell you, we have a lot to say. But tonight, we're strictly keeping it to non-spoilery talk. So if you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. Not going to spoil anything on purpose. But for the full review, you're gonna have to wait to our regular show every Monday night on Facebook and YouTube. But gentlemen, we'll just go around real quick and get our initial general feelings about the movie, and then we can talk just performances and overall what we liked about the film. Again, non-spoilery talk. Garcia, Mr. Garcia, we'll start with you, sir. Go for it.
First impressions, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. It kind of is a derivative. It doesn't uh, go with the same mantra as the first two films. It's a little bit different. It's a bit more of a serious film. As far as the story, characters, cinematography, special effects, sound, all that was pretty good, man. I mean, overall, I thought it was a solid film, but then you see what's going on with the Rotten Tomatoes early on. The early reviews were in, still sitting at 51% as of this recording. And that was a kind of a conundrum to me, head scratcher, because I was going to reserve my thoughts, my first impressions, until we did this review after seeing the film. It was a solid film. Great introduction to Phase 5, in my opinion.
I like it. I like it. Retro Ray, how about you, sir? Your initial thoughts walking out of the theater.
Same way. I mean, it really opened my mind, makes me want to go back and watch Loki, to see what I've missed. You know what I mean? Overall,
This is spoiler review, Ray. Spoiler
oh
review.
yeah, spoiler review. But I
Spoiler
mean,
free.
well, I'm just in general to learn more about to learn more about Kang and to see the whole timeline stuff. You know what I mean? But overall, the special effects are great. It was cool. I was expecting to see it in a regular theater, but IMAX really took it to that next level. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to watch it, definitely try to watch it in IMAX. It's so much to take in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Screen was bigger, a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And reaction is like I had a great time, and I wasn't going in with like too many expectations. It wasn't sort of like multiverse of madness type stuff where like it just had so much hype kind of built around it. No Way Home, so much hype built around it. This was just a great popcorn flick. It was a great balance of like action, humor, heart. It had a little bit of everything kind of thrown in there. So I really appreciated it. Overall, I just think it was a fantastic, entertaining film. And we can get into a couple of the performances without giving anything away. Jonathan Majors was probably the big ticket for me, like wanting to see this movie because I've loved and everything he's done before this, and he didn't disappoint. He is menacing. He is a force to be reckoned with, and I'm really excited to see the rest of Phase 5 after this because they set up a whole lot that we're not going to talk about right now, but they set up a whole lot, and comic fans should be very excited. Joe, what performances really stuck out for you?
I mean, I think the MVPs who really carried this film, I gotta say, was probably going to be, it's going to be Kang for one. Jonathan Majors, but Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Janet. Those two were really spectacular in the show, and of course, you have the ensuing cast of supporting characters. Which is going to be Ant-Man, the Wasp, Doctor, what's his name, Doctor Hank Pym. uh, and some introduction of some new characters. I mean, to let it be known right off the back that Modoc is in the film. That's not a spoiler.
No,
Everybody
in the
knew
trailer, in the trailer,
in the
yeah.
trailer you could see him, but seeing him on the big screen it brought a lot of chuckles in the theater. Let's put it like that. There were people just outright laughing out loud in the theater. Ray and Ted could attest to that, and it was a good thing. I mean, I thought that Modoc was the comic relief of the movie. He brought in a lot of funny moments, and it made everybody laugh. And I liked the portrayal of Kang. You know, but again, we're not going to get into a lot of the other stuff because we're not going to spoil that. I like the portrayal of Kang. The first time that we actually see the character in all his glory on the big screen, and he is a formidable foe. We'll put it like that. And but in my eyes, the main characters, the MVPs, have to be Kang, um, and also a Janet, which is Michelle Pfeiffer's character. So I liked it
Absolutely.
though. It was an enjoyable ride. I still don't understand these critics, man, on Rotten Tomatoes and what they're smoking, man. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, you would think that they're saying that this film was worse than the Eternals. It's not. It's a lot better. It's better than Thor Love and Thunder by far. And it's a solid entry to Marvel's Phase 5. I mean, it sets things up beautifully. And you're going to be intrigued
Yeah,
and you're going to want to come back and see more and go back like Ray was saying. I want to go back and find out really what's happening, but by going back and re-watching some of these episodes of Loki, so
there you
eh,
go.
good solid entry.
Absolutely. Ray, you got like a MVP or a solid performance you want to call out by someone?
I agree with them. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer, she was great. I mean, even Jonathan. I liked them in the HBO series that he did. I mean, I'm interested in seeing him in freaking Creed 3. You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean? His performance. I mean, from the trailer for that alone, he got freaking buff for that. But his acting overall, I mean, left you kind of like you kind of want to know what's more behind him from the way he talks and stuff he mentions. It really makes your mind think. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. He brings a lot of layers to the character.
Yeah.
And one of the things Joe brought up about sort of the critics and the people who are kind of on the fence about this film, a lot of them pointed to the story or the plot not being really solid. I don't understand what's not to understand about the plot. It's pretty straightforward, I think. I I couldn't figure out like what was the issue that they had. I guess they felt it was flimsy in some places, but again, I think it's pretty easy for the average moviegoer to understand. I don't think there's a lot to it. So I think the plot is fine the way it is. I don't know if they thought it was convoluted, but honestly, like this movie, no spoilers, but this movie gets going pretty quickly. Like we get into the meat of the story really early on, and the only thing that I would critique and criticize about this movie, and no one else has probably said this yet, but I could Michael Pena. Like Michael Pena, he's been in the first two
True.
movies. He's known for his great recaps of prior movies or stories or what have you. And this is the first Ant-Man film without one. And I'm like, you know what? I wish I was getting a Michael Pena recap right now. That's the only thing this movie needs. But other than that, solid flick, great performances all around. The special effects, really good. I love the world building they did. They really showed us, a ton of what can happen with the quantum realm, and really the sky is the limit. Even though it's like a subatomic universe, so like the subatomic universe is the limit. You know what I mean? But this is the part of the show where we drop our Geekcast rating, um, 1 to 5 scale. 1 being a horrible movie. Let's. I'm not gonna say Eternals, but 5 being a perfect movie. I would always say Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It's just my opinion. You can have your own. We want to go around and figure out where everybody's heads at. Joe, we'll start with you. What is your Geekcast rating for Ant-Man the Wasp:
It's kind
Quantumania?
of tough, because I was leaning at 3.5, but it's a little better than the 3.5, but I don't want to give it a 4. So I have to go in somewhere in between, I was thinking, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, no, I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid 4 rating. I think, you know, it did enough to me for me as far as it being enjoyable and, you know, just the acting and everything put together. It's going to be a solid 4 in my book.
Very nice, very nice. Retro Ray, your Geekcast score, sir.
I would agree with them too. I'd say a 4. I mean, especially if you like me. I love time travel movies. Of course, you see me rocking Bill and Ted. Um, it makes you think, like Terminator, Doctor Who, the whole time travel, how you go back in time and how even Quantum Leap. I love all that kind of stuff. So I like that it makes you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not something that they're just handing it to you, like giving it to you. You're gonna really have to think about stuff. I like I said, I left the theater just thinking about stuff. So it makes me want to go back and watch certain things to try to see what I missed. Because even with the Eternals thing, I wasn't here for your Eternals review, but the Eternals review in general, yeah, it was a give and take. But I have a weird feeling they're gonna have a kind of big part to an extent connecting to the next phase. But we won't know until then. But I have a feeling it's gonna somehow tie, in that phase area. That's my
I, I
opinion.
I could see that. I could see Eternals doing sort of I'm gonna say much better, but I know there's people that think the first one was fine. I think that I don't into that, but you're right. I think the opportunity for a more improved film the second time around, I think is there. And lastly, I'm actually not too far from what you guys are. You kind of stole mine already. I'm giving it a 4. Paul Rudd, solid in this movie. He's asked to do a lot. He's asked to do a lot of physical things. He delivers. Evangeline Lilly, she's awesome in this. We've already talked about Michelle Pfeiffer enough. Um, Director Peyton Reed, I think, did a great job of telling the story in a great pace. I mean, I said we kind of get thrown into the plot right away, but throughout the movie, I think it's a great pace of a film. I think it has all the elements you want to see in not just a Marvel movie, but an action movie. And all around, we had a great time. We had a great time. We had fun. And the theater we were in, you could tell people were just having fun. And that's why we go. I mean, we're not looking for the biggest movie ever. We're not looking for the next end game right now. But surely, when we get to the Avengers films, when we get to the Kang Dynasty, we're probably going to be talking a much different tone on how they build up to those mega um, sort of chapter closing films. All right. We want to hear from you guys. Once you get a chance to see Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, let us know what you thought. What was your favorite part? What's your favorite character? How do you rate the film? 1 to 5 scale. Let us know in the comments. You can always send us a message on Facebook by clicking the send message button, or you can email us on the contact page of our new website at www.countdowncitygeeks.com. All right. Lots coming from the Geekcast. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for all the interviews that we just dropped recently. More to come. And then for the full spoiler review of Quantumania, join us every Monday night, especially this Monday night, for our Countdown City Geekcast stream on Facebook and YouTube. All right, for the Geekcast, my name is Ted, aka Steady. Really appreciate you guys watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. And joining me on this video was the man behind the magic, Joe Garcia.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for this review of Ant-Man Quantumania. Make sure you go and check it out in theaters and let us know what you all think. So thanks again, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share everything and anything. that we create here for you guys over at the Countdown City Geekcast.
And last but not least, Retro Ray.
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening to our podcast, and also check the website because we also got other stuff on there that we're putting in there. Hopefully, pretty soon we'll be reviewing comics as well. So just follow us and see what more geek stuff you can find with us.
Welcome to Phase 5 of the MCU, folks. Have a great night. Peace.